guys, I use a PB3000 and recently decided to add my 2 spare subs, Yamaha NS SW100s, with the help of Mini DSP. Do you think they will have any benefits or just use the PB3000 for now?
What does that sub look like? NS SW.
I think that's that.
It's probably a 10-inch or maybe a 100-watt amp, is my guess.
Oh, is this the Sony? Yamaha,
Yamaha NS
Yamaha NS
SW100.
NS SW 110 or
I think it's a 10-inch sub. Total guess.
I wonder if that's the one that I.
No.
Is
Did
that
you review
the
that
Amazon
one?
that I tested? Yeah, it might have been the one I
It like
tested.
supposedly had some like
Oh yeah, it had
servo
the servo. That's
servo.
right. And it was it. No, I don't. No, it's not a good speaker. So don't buy that one.
No, he has it. That's his spare
got it,
sub.
yeah.
Oh,
He's
this
one
is
of
what
those,
happens when I
right?
read other things.
is this
Yeah,
the one?
he's like, do I add that with the 2 or with his PB3000?
I mean, it can help fill in the mid bass, but it's not going to do sub bass, right? Like it might do like 50 hertz to 100 or 120, like depending on where your crossover to your mains is.
Mm-hmm.
And for that reason, it could actually be good because that's really one of the most problematic areas in a home, right? It's not like the low bass; it's that mid bass region that, like, usually it's like 40 to,
Mine was
to
always
80 hertz.
50
It's
hertz.
a real problem. Yeah, in a room because of all the different modes. So if you can space them out, well, like take a microphone or even, dude, for stuff like that, you can use your phone. Like you can use an app built into your phone and just use that, walk around the seating area. I should say walk around, but try different seating spots and move the mic, or I'm sorry, move the subwoofers around and see what you like better. That's what I would do. I wouldn't try to get it across super low though.
So basically, if this can help fill a null,
Yeah, that's how I
you
would
have
use
a
it.
null in your
You can help,
response. If you measure and you're like, oh, there's this null in the response. It's not too low. We're talking about maybe it's 60 hertz, 70 hertz, and the sub can definitely do 70 hertz, no problem, right?
For sure.
So you may be able to place this so that you can fill that null. That would be the way that you could utilize the sub, just because you could move it to maybe a different location, right? So, yeah, don't try to use it to extend the bass out and have like deeper bass extension. I don't think you can do that.
Yeah.
No, it's going.
Don't try
You're going to
use
get
it to make
port
it
noise with that
louder.
thing too. It's probably, it could actually make it worse if you're trying to get it to go super low. Just because if I remember correctly, that port was really noisy.
Oh,
And-
You'd almost have to put a
okay.
filter on it, maybe.
yeah, that's what I'm
Plug that
thinking.
Like in Mini DSP.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I mean, if you really want to get crazy with it, I think your best bet would probably be to cut it off at 40 or 50 hertz and seriously just use it as a mid bass module.
oh, that's cool.
mid-bass
I think
module.
that might work better.
That's like when we were talking about the car audio stuff, Aaron. How you apply a high pass and a low pass to a speaker and only let it play these certain frequencies. That's how I have mine set up, because below a certain frequency it makes a door rattle.
Yeah.
So it's like, don't let it play that one. But I need it to fill these sounds. Yeah.
Well, what's really interesting too about that is, like, sometimes it's not so much that the door's rattling. I don't know how to explain it. It's like if you're sitting in a null, the out of phase characteristics that's causing that null will draw attention to itself. Like, so you'll locate that subwoofer because of the out of phase issue, right? So if you can use time delay or phase or whatever to try to get that back in phase with the mains or with another subwoofer, then you won't hear it anymore. And that's the thing, like when we talk about, you often hear people say that subs are localizable above, say, 80 hertz. So the problem is that there's just poor integration. Dude, you should be able to run most subs up to like 120. Some of them even 200 hertz if the inductance is low enough. And as long as it's integrated well, you won't have an issue with localization, right? But it's you got to integrate it well. And a lot of people just don't have the experience, frankly, or they don't care. They just like go out to Walmart and buy whatever, sit it down, and it's like, yeah, I can hear it behind me because it's rattling something. It's like, yeah, you got to take time to set it up.
Isn't that the test though? Like, wouldn't the test be to play the sub by itself? Let's assume that assume nothing's rattling, right? You're not getting a port chuffing, and you're just playing test tones, right? There's going to be a certain point where you're like, okay, I can start really figuring out where that sub is.
Yeah.
At a certain frequency, right? It's the higher you go.
For sure. At some point, you can't do anything about the acoustics of it. And the subwoofer is no longer omnidirectional too, right? But usually it's like you're talking a couple hundred hertz before that actually even happens.
Okay, I think it's just 80 is just the safe bet, right? It's the one where most bookshelf speakers should probably do 80. For sure, it's probably not going to be localizable. The only problem I find with 80 is sometimes that's where the nulls are. A lot of times, that's a weird thing about it.
Yeah,
like I don't know if that maybe there's a different point that might be a better point. I don't know where 80 comes from.
It's from THX, right?
Is it?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That's their because that's where like bass becomes omnidirectional,
according to them.
According to them.
People keep talking about
those are like large woofers too, right? That's the thing. Like, I mean, if it's a really big woofer, then okay, sure, I'll go with that. But if you're talking about like 10s or 12s, then you're going to be able to get up to 100, 200 hertz before it really starts to become directional.
Now, if you'd like to join us in the after show, make sure to become a patron. It would be patreon.com/daily HiFi, and you get to video chat, kind of like this with us after the show. It's pretty awesome. You should check it out.